All right, so you want to build better habits, right? And you've come to us with Atomic Habits. It's James Clear's book, and it's practically a modern classic by now.
It really is.
But we're not here to rehash the whole thing, you know? We're going deeper than that. What are the most useful things someone can take away if they really want to use this stuff?
And that's what makes this so fun, right? Clear's book has so many good insights, but it's taking those and figuring out, okay, how does this work for my goals?
Yeah.
How do I actually use this? That's where the real magic happens.
Totally, yeah. So get ready because we're diving into how these tiny changes, the kind you might not even notice, they can actually completely transform your life. Remember that example Claire starts with about the pilot who adjusts course just a tiny bit, like 3.5 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even notice it first.
It seemed so small.
Right. But that tiny shift, it means landing in New York or ending up hundreds of miles off course in Washington, D.C.
Can you imagine? Talk about a surprise for those passengers.
Oh, man, I'd be freaking out.
Yes.
Excuse me, this isn't my stop. It's such a good image, though, you know? It really shows you the core idea of atomic habits. Tiny changes, but you gotta do them consistently over time. But then it's not just about getting it, intellectually, it's how do you actually use it.
And that's where that four-step model that Clear's got, that's
Ah.
where that comes in. Cue, craving, response, reward.
It's the whole system.
Yeah, and it's not just some theory, right? It comes from actually studying how our brains build habits, like decades of research.
Right, so it's not about willpower or how motivated you are at any given moment. It's more like, can you hack the system?
Mm.
And I gotta say, when I was reading about Clear leaving his guitar out in the open, like begging to be played, light bulb moment for me.
Such a good example.
It's so simple.
It is, and I think we do that to ourselves sometimes. We make it harder by hiding the things that could help us build a good habit.
Yeah,
It's like expecting yourself to not eat the cookie when it's sitting right there.
out on the counter.
Yeah. Why would you do that to yourself?
Exactly. But then what about, when willpower just isn't enough and you need a little something extra? Clear has some really clever strategies for that. And speaking of clever, we have to talk about this Netflix-powered exercise bike. This engineering student, Ronan Byrne, he basically hacked his Netflix so he could only watch his favorite shows while he was on this exercise bike.
Oh, wow.
Talk about commitment.
That's amazing. That's temptation bundling at its finest. And it's so smart because it uses dopamine, right? We know when we do stuff we like, dopamine gets released.
Right.
And then you get that feedback loop that makes you want to do it again and again.
So he basically trained his brain to want to exercise by connecting it with something he already craved, those Netflix binges,
Exactly.
And Clear talks about how you can use this for all kinds of habits, not just working out, like only letting yourself listen to your favorite podcast while you're on a walk.
Yes. Or like, I've started only letting myself have a fancy latte after I finish writing.
Oh, nice.
It's crazy how motivating a little treat can be,
Mm.
especially when you tie it directly to the habit you're trying to build.
I love that. Okay, I gotta ask, have you tried temptation bundling yourself? Any good stories come out of it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I used to always put off these work tasks I hated, until the last minute. But then I started pairing them with, believe it or not, instrumental jazz.
Okay.
And it really works. Those smooth tunes made even the most boring tasks bearable.
That's awesome. And that's what I love about Atomic Habits. It's full of these practical things you can actually do. It's not just theory, it's about what works for you. But let's be real, sometimes you have the best intentions, the rewards right there, but getting started is hard.
Oh, for sure. And that's when you pull out Clear's 2-minute rule.
Ah, yes.
It's so simple, but it helps so many people get over that hump of procrastination.
It's like those, what are they called? Micro commitments.
Yeah.
Instead of I'm going to write a whole chapter, it's 5 minutes of writing, that's it. Or instead of cleaning the whole kitchen, it's just loading the dishwasher.
Exactly. And oftentimes, that little bit is all it takes. Because once you started, you're way more likely to keep going. Remember that runner Clear talks about? He just told himself he'd put his running shoes on.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was it.
And most of the time, that was enough to get him out the door for a whole run.
Exactly.
Okay, but this makes me think about those habits that, even if they're small, there's just no instant gratification. I know flossing is good for me,
Right.
but it's not something I'm like, woohoo, can't wait to floss.
I hear you, and it's such a good point because it highlights that difference between instant reward and delayed reward, right?
Yeah.
Our brains love instant rewards. That's why it's so easy to get hooked on social media or junk food.
Totally.
But those habits that are good for us in the long run, we need a new approach.
Yeah.
And this is where that story about Stephen Luby and the nice soap is so fascinating.
Okay, so tell me more about this whole nice soup thing. How do you make something like washing your hands, which, we all know we should do?
Right.
How do you make it something we actually want to do?
Yeah. So Stephen Luby, he was working on public health in Pakistan,
Yeah.
and hand washing there, it was crucial, preventing the spread of disease.
Right.
But people knew it was important, but they just weren't doing it regularly.
It's that whole, you know it, but you don't do it. We've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. Classic case. So instead of just lecturing everyone about hygiene, Luby tries a different approach. He gets Procter & Gamble involved, and they bring in this new soap.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just any soap. It was like nice soap. Good quality, smelled great, designed to actually make washing your hands, dare I say, enjoyable.
So you're basically hacking the habit loop, right? You're adding in a little something extra, a little luxury. I like it.
Yeah. And guess what? It worked. Hand washing in the community, way up. Turns out a little instant gratification, in this case just enjoying the nice soap, that's all it took. Turned a chore into something appealing.
It's a good reminder that you don't have to change your whole life for better habits. Sometimes it's the little tweaks that make all the difference. Like maybe I'll ditch my boring hand lotion and get one that smells amazing.
Exactly. Or even those habit tracking apps, they can seem kind of silly,
Yeah.
but they work. You see that progress every day, that little dopamine hit when you check something off, it keeps you going.
And it's not just apps, right? Clear talks about Benjamin Franklin keeping that daily virtue journal so detailed.
It's all about accountability. Even centuries ago, Franklin was onto something.
Mm.
Journal, app, even just telling a friend your goals. That outside pressure helps.
It's true. Okay, well, we covered a lot today. Tiny changes adding up, making things fun and rewarding, systems, accountability.
And really, the big takeaway from Atomic Habits is that it's not all about willpower. It's about understanding how audio habits work and using that to your advantage. Design your environment, set yourself up for success.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So, to everyone out there listening, ready to level up their lives one good habit at a time, remember, those little choices you make, they add up to something amazing. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Catch you next time.